The weather outside is frightful. So what do you say, Draft Santa? I see you there. How about a little Christmas cheer? The only way we know how. Our Christmas Day tradition around here, it's the second annual NFL Redraft, and I love it. By the way, just 119 days until the NFL Draft, the real draft. Bench, I know the answer already, but you good?
I'm feeling jolly.
I know. Roll that beat, Chuck.
You didn't think I'd do it, did you?
Not like this. I thought you might dress it up a little bit because you've become Draft Santa. You have gifts for all the draft fans out there. But this is special, man. Hats off. I applaud you. The McShay Show is presented by FanDuel. FanDuel's got it all. Same game parlays, quick bets for jumping in live, and your way so you can build the bet that fits your play. Plus, don't miss out on holiday offers and surprises all month long. Download the FanDuel app or head to FanDuel.com/McShay to get started. Must be 21 and older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. I just threw on a green hoodie because I knew you'd be in red some way, shape, or form. Now I just look like one of your elves.
We got to get after it, man.
Here to package picks. All right. All joking and fun aside, it's family time. It's the holidays, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, don't celebrate. We don't judge. We don't push. We just are here because we love family, faith, football, all the F's out there that are important, right? But we want to wish you as a show a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And this is a special tradition that we have. Just the second year doing it, but my gosh, you just stepped it up, Mensch. But we wouldn't be a show without you, the audience, and we just appreciate you, and we hope you're having a wonderful time with your family and enjoying a little downtime, and urge you strongly to take advantage of that, even though here we are on Christmas Day, and I'm not going to lie to you. I promise total transparency, taping it a little bit in advance so we can be with our families. But what happens is your crazy uncle who's driving you crazy, or your kids who got their gifts, everyone needs a little break. So whether you're watching this on Christmas or watching it shortly thereafter, we appreciate you doing it. And we wish you from Mensch and myself a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Absolutely.
What do you have to say, Santa?
Just double down. Just reiterate that. I hope everyone has a good Christmas, gets what they want, or Hanukkah, everyone gets what they want and get to enjoy their families, and everyone be safe and have fun.
And if you haven't gotten your inbox yet and you need something to read through as you're kind of decompressing for a minute, the McShay Report is out there. Google the McShay Report, subscribe. We appreciate it, especially around the holidays. And we got a little treat for you in there today, the inbox. So it's a special Christmas edition. Okay. And I had to lay it all out there. 3 picks I got right, maybe 4, I forget. A bunch of picks I got right, some picks I got wrong. Never fun.
How many wrong did you go?
4, I think we landed on. Yeah.
That's my Christmas gift. Just watch you squirm a little. Love it.
Everyone's going to scroll right past the ones I got right. I know. All right, here's what we're doing today. We're redrafting. It's our tradition here on Christmas Day. We're going to go back and we're going to give the folks of NFL teams a gift, right? The gift of, if we could do it all over again. The gift of hindsight. And today's going to be interesting because not a ton of players outside the first round. I don't think you're going to go we're going to do 16 picks. Same order as last year, even after the trade. So we're going to have the Jaguars picking at 2. We're going to go the order that picks were made. We don't want to confuse things even more, but we're going to redraft it. Everyone's available. And I think they're going to see some major shuffles. Okay. I don't think we have to explain a lot more. Everyone's available. Every player that was drafted is available. We know the needs. I do want to say this. For me at least, I included Steve when I was going through kind of the needs to match players that obviously they like Tennessee. If I'm not picking Cam Ward, would have a quarterback need, right? But they also would have other positions of need. So keep that in mind too. I'm not drafting another quarterback if Tennessee still has Cam Ward, right? I'm doing it because we're taking out all the rookies, right? So I think we decided, because you got to pick first in our all McShay Show team, that I'm picking first. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you're the one who texted me, and I knew that I was falling into a trap because it might be the hardest pick to make. But I'm here to make it. So
I'm fascinated to see what you do here.
The first overall pick of the 2025 redraft. The first overall pick of the 2025 redraft. Tennessee Titans select Tyler Shough.
Oh my God.
Louisville.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Tell me why I'm wrong. Tracking to potentially be offensive rookie of the year. Measurables, mobility, 6'4", 220. Mobility, arm strength, off schedule, on schedule. 308 passing yards coming off of that game against the Jets. Yes, it's the Jets, but he's been doing it for a minute now. Mm-hmm. He's won 3 straight. He's led that Saints team too, which has a bunch of backups and backups to backups. Mm-hmm. Rattler, Spencer Rattler, who actually wasn't playing horrifically at all times, showed some promise. Was 1-7 as a starter. Tyler Shough, 4-3. He's been the best, and Jackson Dart has had some moments, and maybe we get to Dart later. Cam Ward has had some brilliant individual throws and plays. Tyler Shough, if you're looking at objectively, standing back and saying, it's not like some guy who was a 5th-round pick who has average measurables or doesn't run well or doesn't have a big arm. If you're just dropped on this planet starting in September and you watch the whole season, at this point, right? What are we, 15 weeks in, 16 weeks into the NFL season? Who's been the best quarterback? Tyler Shough. So what's your beef?
I really like Tyler Shough. There's no way he's lasting to the second round in this redraft. I'll tell you that. He's going early, and I get that. I would go Jackson Dart here. I think he's the better overall quarterback.
I did consider it.
Yeah, I would go. Jackson Dart.
My 2 favorite quarterbacks last year were Jackson Dart and Tyler Shough. I'll be honest, in that order. What?
Let me rephrase. If I was taking a quarterback,
I thought long and hard about that.
I would not take a quarterback here. I think Cam Ward was the best. I stand by my rankings from last year. I thought he was the best quarterback prospect coming out. Why has he struggled this year? Well, some of it's on him. Some of it's that he has those bad habits of forcing things. And some of it's that they just haven't built a team that's ready for a young quarterback to be successful. And that's why I would have gone in a totally different direction. I wouldn't have taken a quarterback. Good.
Well, I get the first pick. You jam that down my throat, and I'm jamming Tyler Shough right back down your throat. And honestly, because I didn't take it lightly. I'm not doing this for the shock value. And I know, I was higher on Tyler Shough than probably anybody out there. But I haven't seen anything to take me off of that scent. And I think he's the type of guy I'm watching him endure not having a good supporting cast and still powering through.
I agree with you. He's played really well.
Benched. I stood next to him and talked to him for a long time, probably an hour in total. One-on-one. Tyler Shough and I standing on a field in Thibodaux, Louisiana in July at the Manning Passing Academy. He thought he was going to be the starter week 1. He wasn't. So it was, I don't want to say it was ripped from him, but it was the rug was pulled underneath him.
There were a lot of doubters based on how the offseason went. A lot of people who didn't think he was going to pan out. And look at him now.
And look at him now.
I'm with you.
So I honestly, seeing what I'm seeing with that supporting cast, I'm like, yeah, I would do it. I would just do it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. Tyler Shough's off the board. What do you got?
All right. Jacksonville Jaguars, second pick. First of all, what are we doing trading up like this? Second of all, I'm not taking Travis Hunter here. I said then, as much as I really like Travis Hunter, and I do, I would not have taken him in the top 5. I said that then. I'm saying it now. I don't think it was the right pick. And obviously, hopefully he gets back to being healthy and he can do some of the things that he can do. But if you're looking at that pick right now, I think most people would agree that maybe you go in a different direction. I'm going Abdul Carter. And I know he only has 3.5 sacks.
Really?
And I know it's been kind of a bumpy season. I think he's the most talented edge rusher in that class. And that's what I would want to. That's what I'm taking with the second overall pick. I think that Josh Hines-Allen is excellent. Trayvon Walker is not in terms of rushing the passer. Now you got a guy with Hines-Allen that can really put pressure on opposing quarterbacks. I'm taking Abdul Carter here. And again, and some of this, when I was looking at it, was not only how well have they played, but how much do I still believe in them? Some guys, you hear front office guys tell you all the time, and NFL coaches tell you all the time, I knew week 1 this guy wasn't what we were, we thought we were getting a much better player, and I knew week 1 he wasn't going to be that guy. And they'll say the opposite too. I knew week 1 this guy was going to be way better than we thought he was going to be. There are still players that I think that are, it's TBD. And I think Abdul Carter is going to be, I think he's been more productive than the sack numbers suggest, or more disruptive. And I think he's still got the ability to become an elite edge guy.
Yeah, I don't totally disagree. I started to worry a little bit. He gets benched for coach's decision at one point. We kind of knew that there's a quarter of a screw loose. But I love my edge rushers having a quarter of a screw loose, and maybe they don't always everything's not peaches and cream and amicable, and but what makes you great can also make you a handful to deal with. But I wouldn't give a ton of pushback there.
Okay.
I was mildly surprised, but you've started to see what he's all about. Would you
have gone a different edge, or would you have gone a different player altogether?
No, I kind of like that Jaguars. I feel like if the Jaguars are going to be great, meanwhile, by the way, did anyone see this?
Unbelievable.
Anyone?
Yeah.
I want weapons. Like if you told me you went Tet McMillan, I'd be like, okay, I got it. If you said I just stockpiling offensive linemen, I went Will Campbell, I'd be like, yeah, okay. But I feel like that Jacksonville defense has to have the personnel. Like if Trevor's your guy and you believe in it, and it was hard to believe in it halfway through the season, he had that great Monday night game, and then there was this dip, and it was like, oh, here we go again. And now all of a sudden he's playing the best ball of his life. Certainly NFL life. I kind of like the pick, if I'm being honest. I kind of like it. All right, so now the Giants are up, and they got their first overall pick, the number 3 overall pick in the draft. Abdul Carter ripped away from them. That's part of this exercise.
Yep.
I would consider Will Campbell here. Okay. I think continue and remember, you could play him at guard, then maybe out to tackle later, whatever it is. I would consider Will Campbell here. I'd consider Will Campbell just about anywhere, to be honest with you. I would also consider Tetairoa and McMillan.
Okay.
Because I think wide receivers obviously become a more glaring need, and they see the lack of depth and receivers behind Malik Neighbors and what they don't have. Okay. But I think I would go with Jalon Walker.
Interesting. All right. Did not see this coming. Okay. The edges, there's 2 positions I think are going to go much earlier than, well, actually 3 that did actually in the draft, and it tracks with what you would see traditionally, and that's quarterback, edge, and offensive tackle.
We talked. Jalon Walker was one of the 10 best football players, and I couldn't believe he got to 15.
How?
Mind blowing.
Yep.
It was gift wrapped to Atlanta, and then credit Atlanta for moving back in, and obviously was it the Rams, who now have what looks like it would be the 10th pick in this year's draft, based off of the draft order, I think, unless it's shifted, but somewhere probably in the top 10 picks. With that trade, the Rams move out, and Atlanta moves in, and they get James Pearce. We'll see if James Pearce's name comes up in this draft. You give me an edge rusher who can play off the ball a little bit, who's tough. The production that he's been an A+ pick for Atlanta at 15.
Yeah. No,
and he's a leader, and he's a locker room guy. So I'm going Jalen Walker here, number 3. Edges are tough to find, and like leaders are tough to find.
All right, my hometown team, the New England Patriots.
Yep.
I want to be clear about this. I absolutely love what Will Campbell's been for the Patriots this year. He has shut me up. He has played extremely well. I think if they ended up getting him, and then they would be psyched. I mean, it would be a home run.
You're not going to.
What?
You're going to pick a different player for the New England Patriots, who have been one of the big, outside of the Jaguars. I would say the Patriots are the biggest turnaround. Well, there's a few of them actually this year. It's been a wild NFL season, but they're on that very short list of like, how in the world did they go from picking 4 to, and their own pick, Jacksonville traded up.
Yep.
Their own pick at 4, 4th worst team in the NFL last year, to tracking absolutely, and they actually clinched the playoffs with their comeback win. Second best statistically, if you look at the numbers, second best. The last time they had a comeback win down 11 at that point in the game was the Super Bowl against the Falcons. So, and you're going to rip away Will Campbell from that organization?
I would not do that. See, this is a different thing, okay? This is not where they already had Will Campbell. Santa doesn't give a gift and then come in and say, I'm taking your gift away to give you another gift. You never saw the other gift.
Well, you look like Santa, and you look like you're about to rip away Will Campbell from the Patriots.
I would not rip away Will Campbell, because I love what he's been in that locker room. Like, that's the local team. I see all of it, man.
All right, so who are you going to take instead of taking Will Campbell with this pick?
I'm telling you, the Saints might be on to something, man. I'm taking Kelvin Banks Jr. Same position. I think Kelvin Banks Jr. is going to be a better offensive tackle in the NFL.
And you live in New England.
Look what he's done. Look what Kelvin Banks has done after kind of a rocky start. I know they're going to be mad at me, and I love that they got Will Campbell. And by the way, this is what I was going to tell you.
You know, Bill Simmons. I don't know that he writes your checks, but he certainly endorses somebody writing your checks.
I'm not here to make the easy decisions. Sometimes Santa's got to make the tough decisions. And this is one of those deals, man. And I think Kelvin Banks Jr. should be in play for the first overall pick. I will go ahead and say that. I think that Tennessee signing Dan Moore to a 4-year contract was one of the worst things they could have done. They need a left tackle. They could have got Kelvin Banks and addressed their quarterback position when they were ready for a young player to come in and play. I really believe that much in Kelvin Banks. And I didn't go in. By the way. Some of this is going back. I didn't have Kelvin Banks that early. You didn't have Kelvin Banks that early. I've just watched what he's done over the last month, how he's progressed over the course of the year, and look how he's played, man. I'm telling you, Kelvin Banks is on the rise. I think he's going to be the best left tackle in this group. I love Will Campbell. He should be coming off the board very shortly. He has played. I have no beefs with how he's played for New England. My job is, if I'm the New England GM, is to take the best left tackle that I can possibly get. And looking back on it now, it's Kelvin Banks Jr. Don't be mad.
Oh. Okay.
I thought about sticking with Campbell because it would have been so easy and I wouldn't have to look at your face right now.
But he chugs beers. He chugs
He's
beers.
Awesome.
Also, the Bruins or Celtics game, and like
he can't pull him out because he's been.
He and Drake. Do you know what Drake May would do to you if he could get his hands on
listen,
you?
I know. Will has been great.
You know what Ann May would do to you when she's not big, beautiful. By the way, Ann May is the greatest thing that happened to this.
Ann Michael, is it Ann Michael May or something like that? Yeah, she's been unbelievable. Oh, my son Tyler just can't stop talking about the bake.
Ann May is what New England needed, the region of New England needed, and they didn't even know it.
It's been an unbelievable year.
I'm not the only.
Love Will Campbell.
I'm not the only Northern man to bring a Southern woman up here and just sit back and enjoy every minute of it. All right.
I just want to be clear because I called him a guard earlier. Like we're going through the draft process, and he has absolutely been an outstanding left tackle. Will Campbell's been great for the Patriots this year. It's a tough one. I think there's a lot of young offensive tackles in this class that have played at a very high level early on.
I got a tough decision now to make. Cleveland Browns sitting at number 4.
Number 5, but yeah.
Sorry, number 5. They traded back in that deal got an additional first-round pick this year, which is a late first now. And they were assuming it was going to be a top 10, top 12 pick. But they still got an additional one, ammunition if they need to move up. And they got Mason Graham. And he's been a good player, but he's not the 5th overall pick. I'm staring at a board with Jackson Dart and Cam Ward. And I'm staring at a board with Will Campbell. And they have an offensive tackle and a quarterback need. They also have interior offensive line need, and they have wide receiver. I mean, here they are, again, struggling. This decision will not be made based off of Shedeur Sanders, although we've seen some promise and we've seen the areas where he clearly has to improve. But I haven't seen anything in Shedeur where I say, if this is a slam dunk quarterback class, if a Dante Moore was sitting here, I would say you take Dante Moore. You know how much I love Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. The head trauma and his inability to protect himself is concerning. And it certainly doesn't help that he was 1 for 5 for like 3 yards or something ridiculous. In fact, I think he finished with 33 passing yards this last Sunday. I'm going offensive tackle Will Campbell here.
Awesome. Good. That's a good pick.
I have to. I didn't think he'd be available. Yeah, I'm going to go with Will Campbell.
You wouldn't have gone another whatever. We're going to move on.
Because I also have to do it with some recognition that I got an additional first-round pick next year and hopefully can address quarterback next year. And if it's not next year, it'll be the year after in 2027 where the quarterback class is exceptional. But I've got to get better. I've got to build an organ. As a GM, man, you know this, Santa. We've got to build trenches. We've got to get personnel on the defensive front, offensive front. And I just don't feel like Cleveland's good enough on the offensive front to be like, all right, one quarterback's going to change the whole deal, Not yet. So that's where I would go.
Okay. I like it. What I was going to say was not that would you go with another offensive tackle, but if I had taken Campbell at 4, I still think there's a bunch of offensive tackles that are at least 2.
I still would have gone Banks there.
Yeah.
I still would have gone offensive tackle. I would have gone Kelvin Banks.
Got you. All right. We're going to 6. Moving on. Ashton Genty. Not going to happen. And it's not his fault. I just think that team. No,
it's not.
It's just it was supposed to. You got to.
It was premature.
Take a running back that early.
It was premature. Yeah. They weren't ready for it.
I think Ashton Genty's going to be a great back. I just don't think it was the right fit. And
you see him as a receiver. He's every bit what we thought he was going to be at Boise State.
They need all kinds of help in all kinds of places, and I'm not. I share some of your concerns about Jackson Dart, and I share some of the concerns about Cam Ward. I would absolutely take one of those two here, and I would probably go with Cam Ward because that's who I had ranked higher coming in, and I think if you put him in a position where he could sit for a year behind Geno and learn from Geno and do that kind of a thing, which is what I would hope you would do at this pick, that he has a chance to be really good. But I think they have to take a whole quarterback here, and I'm going Cam Ward for Miami.
Interesting.
Cam Ward, and he'd probably be starting by now. You probably would have been able to start the year with Cam, like kind of learning the offense and not getting pushed right into it. And then he would have been in a better spot, I think, in the long term.
Interesting. I'm just checking guys off the board. I just want to make sure that I'm. Yeah, you wouldn't rather have Jackson Dart than Cam Ward?
I really struggled with it. I'm
not saying there's definitively a right answer. I do know this. When Jackson Dart never had Malik Neighbors outside of when he came into that first game, right?
Right.
But even when he had Scattaboo, they were starting to win. There was life. There was energy. It was working. They were competitive.
Jackson Dart has one of the best left tackles in the league. Cam Ward has one of the worst. Jackson Dart, they both lost their starting coaches, which I think, their head coaches, starting coaches, both lost their head coaches, which I think is something that's notable. I know he lost Neighbors. Like, who is the best receiver for Tennessee? DK at this point? Calvin Ridley. Like, it's not like he has a ton of weapons there either. It's hard for me to write off Cam Ward based on what I've seen this year so far. It's hard for me to do that. And I know if you're asking me who's played better, if I was basing this off of what I've seen to the start of their NFL careers, I'm taking Jackson Dart. But I have a hard time doing that knowing what I thought
erasing
Cam Ward could be. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not.
It's close, man. It's close for me.
I think everyone sitting at home would ask the same question. I'm not trashing it. And I can see both sides.
Yeah.
I would take Jackson Dart.
That's fair. I get that.
I just want to go on the record. I would take Jackson Dart over. I would take Tyler Shough and Jackson Dart over Cam Ward right now.
That's why you're getting Cole in the stocking this year. That's fine.
Yep. All right. So that brings us to. I just want to write this all down. That brings us to the Jets at 7. Tough one, man. Armand Membu has been really, really good.
Yep.
They'd have so many problems from tackle to quarterback to corner to receiver. I can't. I'm taking Jackson Dart with the New York Jets at 7. Membu's been really good, but what has that done?
Yep.
I get they're building for next year, but I'm not armed with all that knowledge of next year and how many picks, and they traded away two of their best assets. I'm just not armed with that. And even if I am armed with that, I'm looking at, I have the benefit of looking at a full season and getting to watch Jackson Dart. And yeah, I'm scared to death that he's not going to be able to protect himself, and something like this could be a year in, year out problem. But I got to trust my coaching staff and working within developing ways to stay on the field. So I'm going to go Jackson Dart here. It's interesting. This is a disappointing quarterback class, but with a season, and it's a good reminder as we get close to this draft, with a season of hindsight for all the great players, from the Will Campbells to the Kelvin Banks to the Tetairoa and McMillans to the Tyler Warrens to the all the great play. Abdul Carter, Jalen Walker, James Pearce. Talking about guys who have just outplayed Emeka Egbuka prior to getting nicked up. Membu, Booker, Walter Nolen, Omarion Hampton, Carson Schwesinger, all those guys.
Yep.
Here we are, last couple weeks of the season. And we're like, my gosh, it just doesn't work without a quarterback.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
It's a reminder.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder. All right, pick 8 is Carolina.
Sticking with Tetairoa and McMillan out of Arizona. There's just no reason not to. He has been. Who thought Carolina would be where they are right now?
And who thought? And I shouldn't say who. I don't want it. I certainly didn't think when we wrapped things up out in LA at the end of the 2024 NFL draft that we would be talking about Dan Morgan maybe having the best draft class of everyone.
Yeah, Seattle though. Our guy in Seattle, so good.
Sure. I would, if you said, McShay, make a top 5, make a top 10 list, I wouldn't have put Carolina in there. No. Obviously, I wasn't as high on Tetairoa and McMillan, and we'll see how it all plays out. But right now, I absolutely look wrong, and I'm going to eat it. And if you've read the McShay report, I ate it.
That's kind of why I had to get him in early just to hear you.
And quite honestly, could have easily gone 2-3 picks higher.
I was terrified because you start looking at what the Panthers might be interested in here, and I was like, it's so obvious that this is the right fit and the right player, both in how it's played out and what they would be without him.
Yeah.
That I was like, McShay's going to do this. He's going to have badmouth this guy, not badmouth, but not love him during the draft process and then take him earlier. So I'm sitting there with Carolina being like, what do I do here? Best edge, that's kind of the situation you get in with that. But you look, and Xavier Legette, the other guy, the receiver they took in the first round earlier, not in this draft, I forget what year it was, has not panned out. And they really needed Tetairoa McMillan to step up and be the player that he can be. And he's been outstanding.
This episode is brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. The holiday season's not just about R&R. It's about getting things done. That's why Duluth's long-lasting, durable gear makes for the best gifts for the doer on your list. Imagine hanging light displays with ease thanks to free swinging flannels, exclusive reach gussets, fire hose work pants so tough Santa swears by them for nonstop chimney travel, and buck naked underwear that treats your sugar plums with care. This year, gift the right stuff to build, create, and do. Shop online and in stores today at Duluth Trading Company. I'm up with the 9th pick, right?
Yep.
Kelvin Banks was ripped from me in the most shocking move. You might say it was Tyler Shough. The Saints were involved in the 2 most shocking moves in this 2025 redraft. According to you, I didn't think it was shocking at all. I thought it was kind of a no-brainer. Tyler Shough goes number first? 1 overall. And, if that is your number 1 shock value from this 2025 redraft, then absolutely the second shock value had to come from Will Campbell not being. Like, Ann May is crying in her kitchen right now, and Drake is pissed off, tracking down draft
They're in
Santa.
Cleveland doing the same thing that they were going to do in New England. He's
on
still
Dancer, on Prancer.
By the way, I'll say this about Shough because I want to be clear. I don't think those 3 quarterbacks are getting past those 7 picks. I don't think there's any scenario. Pick which one you like the most, which one, whatever.
Which is interesting and goes back to our point.
They're not getting past that. Yeah, they're not getting past 7.
Because I wouldn't look at that quarterback class. First of all, it wasn't great at the time. And Jackson Dart just threw for like 33 yards, and he's had durability problems. And Cam Ward's been a disappointment.
Yes.
And Shuck's been a revelation. But like, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, these guys would go top 7, definitely. You know. But you look
how
at
much
the
of this. Yeah, how much of this is ego? I wonder. I'm not ready. I mean, we spend so much time on those quarterbacks. I am more likely to say it's their environment more than it is the player at this point in the process. And I wonder if you got to be honest about that with yourself, I think, as an evaluator. You got to be honest as a decision maker. You have to be. Because you're right. I mean, Jackson Dart's coming off a terrible game, has had a hard time staying healthy. Cam Ward has not looked anywhere near as good as we had hoped at this point. And Tyler Shuck's been great, but it's a small sample size, man.
No, I know.
And yet here we are.
But I loved him, and what I'm seeing from him is what I knew was in there.
I know. That's what I mean.
So now that it gets us to the Saints, and the Saints have an offensive tackle need. They addressed it in the draft. They just lost Kelvin Banks. They have a wide receiver need. They have a needed edge. If I'm being honest, it kind of comes down. They have a quarterback need. Don't forget that, by the way. And I am armed with the fact that Spencer Rattler, you're ready to bench him. But there's not another quarterback. I'm sure as hell not taking Shedeur Sanders here. Oh. Transparency? Highest player on my board right now?
Yeah.
James Pearce.
On your reworked board, yep.
Yep. He's been absolutely awesome in Atlanta. Arguably statistically, I think the best pass rusher from the rookie class. They could use a Tyler Warren or a Colston Loveland, and I would certainly take Warren over Loveland. Emeka Egbuka was great, but that was early in the season before injury. He's had a couple drops, hasn't been the same guy.
I told you.
Oh, please stop. I'm strongly considering him here. Membu's been really, really good. They need an offensive tackle. I'm going James Pearce here.
I don't like it only because I would have liked to have taken that pick. And I thought that Jalen Walker and James Pearce were going to last a little longer. You weren't going to be so aggressive about going at those guys. But again, it's what we say every year: quarterback, edge, offensive tackle. Those guys are going to go. This is. You get to Chicago. I'm going to be honest with you. I struggle with this one because I like Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren. First of all, I want to say this. If James Pearce didn't just go, he was in real play to go here.
Yep.
You could do maybe a Mason Graham. I think you could throw in here because I think he's that good. And he may be my pick. Nick Eamon-Worry, who's been outstanding for Seattle's in play. And then it comes down to the 2 tight ends. So let's get into that right now. Tyler Warren's been better than Colston Loveland. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But what do we say at the draft? I thought that Loveland was a better fit for what Ben Johnson wants to do with the tight end. And I still believe that. And I think Loveland has still not reached his full potential. And maybe he doesn't put the numbers up that
Starting
Tyler
to show
Warren
it,
wants to
though.
put up. Yes. And maybe he's not putting the numbers up that Tyler Warren's putting up because they don't need him to. Because they got a Roma Dunze, because they've got a DJ Moore, because they have other dudes who can make plays, whereas I don't think the Colts are as well-rounded in that. Michael Pittman's a very good player, but it's just maybe the Colts need Warren to make more plays. They're more ground and pound. That being said, I'm going to go Mason Graham here. I just think that he's too good not to get out of the top 10. I love Mason Graham. I love those 2 tight ends, but I'll take the defensive tackle.
Interesting.
Tough.
Yeah. I'm just looking down. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you're going interior defensive lineman, Mason Graham out of Michigan.
I just think he's too good.
Ben Johnson's going to be pissed.
Mason Graham, other than Dinesh Chetty, Mason Graham was the 5th player on my board. And now we're at 10. I just feel like you look at that and you have to, at some point, you got to get him off the board.
I mean, you lose that 6-catch, 118, 2-touchdown game against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You lose the 63 on 4 versus Cleveland that they needed. Green Bay.
So would you have taken Warren
twice in the last 3 weeks? 7 catches, but only 59 yards. I really am a huge fan of both of these tight ends.
Yeah.
And their success has not been surprising at all. I think you said it perfectly. Tyler Warren was at the time and continues to be the better tight end prospect.
Yes.
But it was razor thin, if I'm being honest with you. And they were 2 different players. And quite honestly, like, this is one of those, as a GM, you turn to Ben Johnson, you're like, that fits better still. You sure? You've now seen him. I'll give you Warren, or I'll give you. But I think I would have gone with one of those 2 tight ends because I think it's just a really important part. I would have stuck with tight end.
You don't think you look at him and say, I know you're going to figure out another way to get that. Those you're going to find a way for that production to happen. You're going to find a better, like, you're an offensive guy. Like, we need the defensive player.
I'm taking.
You're giving whatever he wants.
I'm taking Tyler Warren.
Yeah,
he's gonna have a better career and be more.
I'm sticking with Graham, but you're probably right. I hear you.
All right, before we get to pick 11, where San Francisco had Mykel Williams, could still take Mykel Williams, but maybe we'll have a shift there when I choose at number 11 for John Lynch, the GM. We've got a special part of today's special episode. My favorite fits, brought to you by Scout Motors. Just look at Santa now, folks. Look at him. Look at that smile with that beard. Can you imagine Santa riding around New Hampshire, up in the mountains, dropping off gifts for all the children, going down the coast? We got to get you in one of these matches. When you've got the right player.
Please.
When you've got the right players and the right team, magic happens, like Santa in his sled flying through on Dancer, on Prancer, right? The same is true when you find the right car for your lifestyle. Coming soon, the all-new Scout Terra and Scout Traveler could be that car for you. An icon from the 70s. It's been re-envisioned for tomorrow with plans for advanced 4-wheel drive. Perfect for any magical winter wonderland adventure. So, Mensch, I come to you, and I tell you, you're going to get a Scout motor. It's going to be, you're kind of leaning towards the Traveler over the Terror. That's fine. Some people are
both awesome though.
Both are awesome. So I come back to you, Draft Santa. With all this in mind, I want to know your perfect fit. Of all these picks so far, top 10 picks, what's your perfect fit?
No brainer. It's Carolina getting wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan. The proof is in the pudding. We get to see how it's played out, and it's played out perfectly. Fit their need. He is, if not exceeded expectations, certainly met them. He's been productive. He's that big body guy that can make plays with Bryce Young. It's this one's a no-brainer for me. It's Tetairoa McMillan.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not doing it for the splash or the shakeup. I'm doing it because I truly believe Tyler Shough is different. Tyler Shough is underrated. I knew it at the time. I wish I even pushed it harder, and I pushed it as hard as probably anybody out there. I was just a Shough guy, and now I get to see it. And I'm looking at Tennessee and the struggles. I would take him, and I just love that fit because I know he's been through the adversity. Cam Ward did too in college, but like football ripped away from him, the injuries, the transfers, all the stuff. I love that fit at number one. So you're with Tetairoa and McMillan at 8. I love the fit of Tennessee with Tyler Shough and you're seeing the whole organization change with Shough around him. And it's kind of like if you got yourself in that suit and a Traveler, I'm telling you. This part of today's episode was brought to you by Scout Motors. Soon, they'll have the perfect fit for you. The all-new Scout Terra and Scout Traveler are designed to combine their classical roots with their new and improved tech, including plans for available locking differentials and optional 35-inch tires. You're going to need that, big boy. I know you are.
Yep.
To take you anywhere, the mountains, the coast of New Hampshire. Join the wait list at scoutmotors.com. Concept vehicles, not available for sale. Features and performance specifications are preliminary and subject to change. Joining the wait list does not guarantee purchase, but you can't get one if you're not on the wait list. Let's go, folks. Visit scoutmotors.com for more details. All right, Mitch. Pick 11, San Francisco. I look at them. Michael Williams, we're seeing some of the ascend, some of the positives. Certainly hasn't been the player, but the team is doing great. What could they use? They could use an edge. They could use a wide receiver. I really believe they could use another wide receiver. They could use an interior offensive lineman. So I'm looking at this list, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a rough mock-up, but I still have Tyler Warren. I'm not taking that with Kittle there.
Right.
I've still got Emeka Egbuka. I've got Armand Membu. I've got Tyler Booker, who's been awesome. I got Walter Nolen. I'm drafting Emeka Egbuka here.
Okay.
Wide receiver out of Ohio State. He's ready. The defense has played really well. I'm going to take Emeka Egbuka here and provide another weapon, some consistency or reliability. A route runner. Yeah, I like it. In that, with Kyle Shanahan's offense, he would be a perfect fit. So I'm going to Egbuka here. What do you got at 12?
I don't hate it. This is the biggest jump for me. This was the player was 53rd on my board. And I loved him. And this is another player that like you look back on and I should have been more aggressive about pushing. I'm not gonna dance around it. I think Dallas can go in a couple different directions here. I think Tyler Booker has been great for them. I don't hate the pick that they made there. I want to make that clear. I'm taking inside linebacker Carson Schwesinger from UCLA. I think their defense is one of the worst defenses in the league. They're as high powered as their offense is. It can't seem to keep up with anyone because their defense is that bad. I think they look at the trades and they did a pretty good job of addressing the interior defensive line. I don't love, I would pick an edge here, but I'm not sure I see the value right now at edge. Whereas with Schwesinger, you're coming in, you're getting a day one starter at inside linebacker, which is I think a massive need for them. He has been outstanding despite playing with a high ankle sprain. I think Carson Schwesinger would be a great pick at 12. And that is early for an off-the-ball inside linebacker, but I think he's played that well, and I think they have that much of a need.
Yeah, I mean, we want to keep things moving. He has been awesome. Well, a lot better than I thought. I didn't see top 50 value for him. His range, his instincts, all the things that made him an exceptional player in that 1 year. He's a 1 year kind of out of nowhere player for UCLA, and he's been awesome. But am I getting that impact from him where I'm taking him at 12 overall? Would be the question. You're saying yes is the answer. All right, so I'm going to move on. Pick 13, Miami Dolphins. We scratched our head at the time, thought it was too high for him, didn't know necessarily with all the other needs on that team that they needed it. You could sit here and say, well, quarterback is now a need, and yes, certainly it is, but there isn't one to take. I think interior offensive line is as big a need as it could be. Cornerback is a need. They certainly could go interior defensive lineman if you wanted to here. I would go between there are three. Honestly, it comes down to interior guys. Well, Tyler Booker and Walter Nolen. Guard versus a defensive tackle. I don't think you can go wrong. Both have been awesome this year. I just think there's something about Miami and no, I'm going Walter Nolen. I'm going Walter Nolen.
Okay.
An impact defensive lineman. And I know he was nicked up for a while, but my goodness, have you watched him?
Yeah, he's awesome.
And we knew he was going to be awesome. And we didn't care about all the externals and everything else. He's just an awesome player. So if you as an organization wanted an interior defensive lineman, here's one that's worth that pick.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Colts, I mean, look, Colts at 14, I would make an argument.
So both tight ends are still on the board. Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland, just so everyone understands. Okay, go ahead.
I would make the argument if there was a quarterback here, that's the direction they should go in. They should get a quarterback here. There's not. And so we're staying with Tyler Warren. I mean, he has been absolutely outrageous for them. He is everything we thought he was going to be coming out of Penn State. He's that big target. He's athletic. He's good after the catch. He's a competitive blocker. Everything about him that we thought he was going to be coming out, he's been. And I don't know how when you have competent play quarterback, this kid's just a stud. I don't know how you could go against Tyler Warren for the Colts. It was a great pick, both in terms of value and need for them then, and it remains so. Yeah. I wouldn't have gone in a different direction. I really wouldn't. Yeah, I would have no problem. I'm going to go. Here's the problem with Atlanta. They nailed their first two picks. Yep. They're both off the board. Jalon Walker. Why. That's how you know, right? That's how you know. Yes, gone. James Pearce, gone. So I got to pivot because, excuse me, I'm not going to go another edge when I've got someone significantly higher in terms of grade, and that's Colston Loveland. Mm-hmm. Or I could go, yeah, there's no. I'm going to go with Loveland, and I saw what Pitts just did, 2 weeks ago, best game of his career. I think he's a free agent at the end of this year. Yep. I am not paying Kyle Pitts based off of a half a season when his contract's finally up, and now you're going to do it for me? Now? Sounds like you've had him in fantasy. Sounds like you've had him as a fantasy player. I actually have. And AJ, my stepson, had him. First round of his playoffs with all of his buddies. He brings him in or he had him on the bench most of the season and started him that night, and was freaking out running around the house because of what he did. Had like 46 fantasy points or something like that. No, I'm going with, because if you're going to take off organizationally, you've got Michael Penix who can deliver and distribute the ball. You still need another receiver, and which is shocking considering the currency they've used on quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. That we're talking about wide receiver and tight end are potentially needs for the 2026 draft, like high needs. But I'm taking Colston Loveland here. All right, with the 16th and final pick of the 2025
McShay Show redraft. What do you got?
It's interesting, man, from a number of levels here. Again, this is another quarterback team, and it's not available, right? I actually liked Walter Nolen here, who's who they took. He's off the board. I considered Emeka Egbuka. Travis Hunter is still on the board, by the way. He has not come off. It's interesting to me. And
Can I throw an interesting scenario at you? Because we do have hindsight of this season, knowing the age of and now the additional injury to Connor, and Genty is still on the board. And I'll dangle this little carrot for you. Some may argue, and this was your guy before I commandeered him and made him my guy. Omarion Hampton has shown a lot of signs of being a star running back in the NFL. Would you consider running back here? Okay, go ahead.
I would consider it. I'm taking Armand Membu, the right tackle. I don't know how you can't at this point.
That's a good pick. It's a good pick.
He's been so good. I'm actually surprised he's still here. I'm taking Armand Membu. I think you're set at left tackle. Right tackle, Jonah Williams is going to be a free agent. Kelvin Beachum, the swing tackle, is going to be a free agent. I think that you look ahead, obviously they knew they were going to have him this year, but you look ahead and you get your right tackle in Armand Membu. And now when you're going to get a quarterback in this next draft, you're even in a better position for that guy to succeed. But interesting that Genty's still here, Ashton Genty's still here, and Travis Hunter's still here. But it's fun exercise, right, man?
So real quickly, before I go recap, actually, you know what? Let's recap it real quickly. Here's how it goes. And I'm sure Tucker's got a graphic to roll out with it. Tyler Shough, QB out of Louisville, number 1 overall pick by the Tennessee Titans. Mensch hated it. I stand by it. In fact,
I didn't hate it.
It was my Scout Motors best fit. Like Mensch's best fit is in a Traveler, not necessarily a Terra, but I love the Terra. All right. Number 2, Jacksonville took Abdul Carter. Number 3, Giants took edge rusher Jalon Walker. Number 4, Mensch poisoned the baking of Ann May and has Drake running through the streets of Boston chasing him and on Dancer and on Prancer taking Kelvin Banks at offensive tackle over local legend Will Campbell. Then Mensch took Cam Ward, quarterback, for the Raiders instead of Ashton Genty. Then I took at 7. Of course, I didn't write it down. Where did I go? Oh, I took Jackson Dart.
Yep.
Right? Mensch stuck with Tetairoa McMillan, the wide receiver, for Carolina at 8. At number 9, edge James Pearce comes off the board a lot earlier this time around. Most productive edge rusher in the rookie class so far. He went to the Saints at 9. Kelvin Banks had already been taken. Mensch had a tough call. Colston Loveland's still there. Tyler Warren still there. Took Mason Graham. I wonder what Bears fans. What do you think of that pick? I'm very curious. Mason Graham goes there 10 to the Bears. San Francisco, Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver. Dallas goes Schwesinger over Tyler Booker, who's had, by the way, like A+ grades. Like
unbelievable.
And doesn't go in the top 16, which looks like an indictment, but we're both saying it's not. Interesting. Tyler Warren stays with Indianapolis Miami at 13 takes Walter Nolen.
Mm-hmm.
You want an interior defensive lineman? Fine, take one, but just take the better one. And we said that at the time, too. Tyler Warren stays in Indianapolis at 14. The Falcons got their guts ripped out of their insides with Walker and Pearce being gone, but they get Colston Loveland. They got a sneak peek of what a really good tight end looks like. Kyle Pitts has shown only 2 or 3 flashes over 5 years. Colston Loveland becomes their pick at 15, and Armand Membu rounds it out. So Booker was top of my list of players still available. Genty was still available. Omarion Hampton, I thought, could possibly go, but it's a running back still available. Anyone else that stood out?
Travis Hunter, right?
And Travis Hunter. That's an interesting. Yeah. We could do a whole show on
thing on that.
If we redrafted right now, the number 2 overall pick, Shohei Ohtani, he was called by someone that might or might not be wearing a Santa hat right now. but the same guy who said a lot of smart things that we're circling back on that I'd forgotten about. Maybe Santa's smarter than I thought. That would be an interesting conversation. Would he go in the top 16 picks if it was redrafted right now?
Listen, we can't get out of here yet because I don't know. Are you about to wrap here?
Go ahead.
A lot goes into this show. End of the year. I mean, we got to talk about how it takes a lot to get this show to where it is. Unbelievably, this is an improvement from what it would be. We have a lot of helpers, and I wanted to bring on one of Santa's helpers at the end of the show here, just for you to get a look. And here he is right now.
Oh, he'll never be able to. I mean,
I just fumbled that. And by the way,
no,
where was Santa's helper? Where was Santa's helper on that Chicago pick, Dan? You can't let me do that.
That's all right. It's okay. I'm just happy the Falcons were redeemed in this draft.
I do love the versatility and the onions because anyone out there can screenshot this now. And this is a guy who's been lifting a lot, hanging out at Hollywood Hills parties. We got a break early on a late Saturday night. He's a young man who's out there sowing his royal oats, and now he's just dressed as an elf.
Yeah,
but it's part of the fun of this show, and this show's about family and it's about grinding, and it is not easy, and it has been a lot of hard work. And yes, it's a labor of love for everyone, but it's still labor. And we got Tucker behind the scenes, and we've had
Tucker's a little more. He's more concerned about crafting his image. Tucker, when he'll roll out when he's.
Oh, he's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man.
Tucker doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't just come out for no reason. We've got John back there. I was
going to say, if you don't think this isn't about family, we would literally. Our guy who cuts all the clips and makes us look really cool on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere else is literally rocking his baby in a as we're coming into the show. So we appreciate the family and the hard work and all the factors that go into this show from everyone that's involved in it. And we also appreciate that you at home are taking time away from your family and your friends. Hopefully we're a little bit of a relief from your day or an added bonus or a little bit of fun. But it has been an awesome run, and we are just warming up, and we can't do it without Dan the Elf, Tucker, Connor, Bill Simmons, Jeff Chow, Mallory. There's so many people behind the scenes who have helped us get to where we are. And like I said, we're just warming up, but enjoy the rest of the year. Bring in the new year with the college football playoff. Bring in the new year with the 2026 NFL draft. But I hope you guys, everyone out there, enjoyed time with their family. And Mensch looks like he's got one last thing to say is Draft Santa.
That was it. Just happy holidays. Everyone have a good time. Stay safe.
Dan, do you have anything to say before we leave? You might as well get the mic for a minute if you're going to dress up like this.
Well, I wanted you to dress up like this, but I didn't think that you had it in you. So I kind of had to take one for the team. I texted Tucker and I texted Mensch and I was like, should I do this? And they were like, 100%. So
yes,
it's been a great year. Great show.
Look,
5 stars, by the way.
Everyone smile real quick. Tucker, there you go. There's your still shot. You can ruin everyone involved. All right. It's not 5 stars. It's way more than 5, but I only get 5 to give out. So it's right there. Love all you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Happy holidays.
Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.